Can you feel it? This is my heart beating. Just for you.
harmony. Take your face into my hands, I can feel your heat. I'll make this promise, please follow my heartbeat. What about us? What about heartbeat? What about
That one. There we go. That was pretty good timing. Alright guys, welcome back. I know there's probably not going to be a lot of viewers right now because it's super early in the morning. But yeah, as I said in the description, I'm feeling a bit crap the last few days. I thought I'd give you a bit of an explanation, but I also wanted to talk about some stuff as well. I'm not exactly quite sure yet. I'm probably just going to ramble on and see where it goes, but there's probably a lot to talk about. So this video is also kind of for the people that used to watch my old content when we talked about addiction, substance abuse, and just sort of general society sort of things as well. So I'll start off with what I've been going through the last couple of days. Just a rough patch, I think. I'm not too down. I'm not in, and I'm not. At least I'm not in the worst place I've ever been. I'm hoping it's just a passing phase, but like the thing is, like I haven't been playing any games or streaming or anything because my energy is just so low. Like even picking myself up to sit and do this video, you know, it's like, oh, it's the only thing that's going to stop me just lying down and doing nothing. And I want to do something, you know. That's the one thing I want to do with this channel, and why I want to keep progressing with it is to do something, to make a change somehow. I have no idea how to do that in any other way than this. So yeah, so the last few days just basically just feeling down. Why? Don't know. Sometimes can't put my finger on it. Sometimes I can, sometimes I know exactly what it is. Sometimes it's just weird like that. Yeah, we are going to play Geoguessr as well at some point. But yeah, so right, so update for the people that used to watch the older content. You'll know that I used to talk about well, the content of my videos then, and the titles of them was that I was addicted to weed. And when I think that the main video of that is still up on my channel. I think I had to take a lot of them down because YouTube made me, because of the thumbnails and just the stuff we were talking about, because we did get into some dark stuff, I guess. But yeah, so update on that. It's been a few years since then, and I've learned a few things. I've learned that I have autism, and that has made me rethink almost everything possibly that I talked about in that old video. It's been a while, so I don't know exactly what I said in there, but I do know that going back into that video, you look at me then and look at me now, and would you say I'm in a better position? I look better, I feel better than then. That has to be my lowest point so far, and fingers crossed, I've been close to that, but I haven't gone there, and that's good. And that's why, obviously, again, continuing on with this stuff. But update for that. So I used to talk about being addicted to cannabis, and I think at that point, I don't think I was addicted, but I think I was overusing it because it was my only sort of comfort blanket, right? I was saying at the time I didn't really have a social life or anything like that, and it felt very much like that was the only thing I had in the world that could even give me any comfort. And yeah, I think at that point I was overusing it. What I didn't really realise is that now I realise that I had autism, and that I have autism, is that the cannabis was helping me deal with a lot of those symptoms. So one of the main things for me is being overstimulated by sounds. That sort of, I don't know if you can relate to this, but it just makes my brain turn into fuzz, just like static on an old TV screen, and you know, no thought, is processed properly. Everything is just erratic and shooting around everywhere like sparks. So the cannabis is what that does. What I didn't really like, I knew it did something, but I couldn't put my finger on what it was doing. It was making that a lot easier to deal with. So like in normal life, when I'm just not on anything, I've got very sensitive hearing. These big ears, man, they pick up everything. But yeah, I've got very sensitive hearing. I think that's quite common in a lot of people with autism. And, you know, like even right now, I can hear the birds outside. I can hear my fans whirring in the computer. I can hear the static from that light up there. You know, there's so many different things. There's just nothing going on right now. And that it's, to me, it's so obvious to me, right? But cannabis kind of helps that sit in its right channels or fade into the background like a normal person. I guess that's, you know, there's a lot of sounds going on. I guess your mind doesn't concentrate on all that background stuff. It just tries to pick out the most important things, right? But for me, it's like everything's all at the same massive loud volume and all competing with each other to get into my brain the information, right? So that's one thing that it does. The second thing is that with my anxiety, of course, it helps anxiety because it can help you relax. The other thing is it can go the other way and it can make you even more anxious. And it's like, I would get to a point where I would smoke and smoke through the anxiety to a point where I was just so high that I could just sleep then because I was just so tired, right? So I don't think it's a case that I was addicted to it. I think it's a case that I was using it moderately for a long time, and then I started overusing it because I fell into this depression. And I think that's a very common thing with a lot of people that commented on that video. A lot of people turn to that because it's just there and it's so easy and it just does the trick. And I would guess as well, maybe some of the people had autism or have autism too that watched those videos and commented. The more I've realised about autism, the more I've learned, the more I've looked at people that I know and gone, you know, they have some traits of that too. You know, I wonder. But I think it's more common than we think. There's that. Now for the update. I'm not overusing it anymore at all. I literally see it as medicine, and I like not being dependent on it. Like, I kind of am a little bit. I mean, I probably couldn't function a normal day life without it. I'd be a mess. But I don't smoke it to the point where it's a detriment anymore. It just helps me, just enough to help me be a normal person. I don't want to be out of my head. You know, I don't want to be, oh, dude, I'm high, man. You know, I don't want to be like that. I don't like being like that. I like being in my normal, safe, just controlled state of mind, you know, just level. That's where I'm aiming to be all the time, but it always throws it up and down. Dimrak, hey, welcome to the chat, man. How are you doing, mate? Oh, it's really early here. I don't know what time it is for you. My brain's all a mess at the moment. So I'm going to say from the time I've learned that I've had autism, once that clicked in my head, then a lot of the problems that I talked about from weed went away. Things like paranoia or it's really hard for me to think right now, but a lot of the things that I talked about in that video went away. And it was because I realised what had been happening just in that sense. That was just one thing. And that was great. It's almost midnight, you're talking cannabis. Yeah. I just wanted to do, because it all kind of coagulates together in a way, like my older content that I'm still going through mental health issues, using that to help me, like, because I say, even if I got help from the doctor, the only help I want from a doctor, which is almost impossible to get, the only help I want is to be able to sit down with somebody and just talk through kind of my life, you know, because I've never had that. I've never been able to sit down with someone and say, look, this is what happened and this is how it made me feel. I've never had that. I've always bottled it up, or like, what, like, I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm not one of those people who like refuse to talk about things. I willingly really want to talk about things, man. And I can't get to a person that will, like a professional, that will sit and listen to me and just say, hey, this might be why you do this, or this might be why you do that. I have to work it all out for myself. And I guess a lot of people find that now as well. Like, you can't get that help, you have to find it for yourself. And that's a whole dangerous thing, because, man, how many people can critically evaluate themselves, man, when they're mentally unstable? I think I'm at quite a bit of an advantage, because I am a smart person. Like, I'm not stupid. I can be stupid, but, you know, intellectually I'm a smart person. I understand rationality and stuff like that. But with mental health, it's one thing that just twists and turns everything around. Like, I mean, everything. It's crazy. Yeah, I've smoked since I was 17. I know exactly what you feel. Yeah, I've smoked since I was, I can't, 15, but that was just sort of socially and here and there then, until I was probably like 22, 23 or something like that. And then it became like all the time and obsessive, because that was, like I said, all I had, like as a comfort blanket sort of thing. Or, you know, it makes you very content with how you are, you know. That's like why you can just so easily sit and do something for hours, because you're just so content sat there doing it. And it's weird, because it's very easy to go overboard on it. And once you go overboard on it, the risks are very real. I'm not one of these people who say there's no risks to taking cannabis, man. There are very real mental health risks to it. And you can easily slide down that slide, man. You can easily go down there. I've done it many times, especially when you don't have, well, it's not even, when I say I don't have people I can talk to, I absolutely have people I can talk to. But if you have the same, I don't know, it might be hard to relate to if you don't have the same thing, but you might feel like a burden, right? And I don't want to feel like a burden to anybody. Like, even the doctor, man, half the time I put myself off going to the doctor, because I know the NHS in our country is so stressed, and there are people that desperately need, like, life-saving help, you know. And I think to myself, well, I might just be able to hold on a little bit more, and then maybe when I really need it, maybe when I'm really at that bad point, then I can get the help. But I mean, it just gets worse and worse in this country, so that's not a good strategy to have, really. I don't know. I find I get to a point and then something recharges me a little bit, but every time I recharge on that mental battery, I guess, it's always a little bit lower. It's like any battery. Eventually it's going to deplete and you can't charge it anymore. And it, like, sometimes I feel like I'm just going down, and I recharge a little bit, and then I go down more, and I can only come back a little bit more. This is a reason why I want to talk about this, because even today when we talk about mental health, we have a little conversation and then we stop talking and we think now that chat's helped them, now we think they'll be okay now, and I'm guilty of doing that with people as well, especially being somebody that suffers with that mental health. You can see it in other people so much more clearly. And yet you feel so helpless because you're struggling so much yourself. You're just looking around at other people going, fuck, they're in the same boat as me and I can't do anything. Try not to be too depressive, Let's get I've got Geoguessr set up here. Don't need that open. Oh, I don't even know. You can't see it anyway. But yeah, I want to do something even to help myself or help other people, because this is fucked, man. Like, I've known a lot of people that have ended their lives, and they're people that have had loads of friends, like loads of friends. And I think, fuck, like, how can they get to that point? And it's because, friends are brilliant, man. Don't ever get me wrong about having a friend to talk to is like one of the most important things you can have. But it's not that professional. How, as much as a friend can know what you're going through or sympathize with what you're going through, even if they're going through it themselves, like I just said, they're usually dealing with so much themselves they can't put that energy into you like a professional could, because it's their job and it's like what they do every day. They dedicate themselves to that. Like, we can end up putting too much pressure on our friends sometimes, and that goes back again to feeling like a burden. I guess it's better to feel like a burden to an actual system rather than to a friend or something, I don't know. But there needs in all places, not just in my country, there needs to be a hell of a lot more. We need to find money for this somehow. The thing that's upsetting me, it's not even my own depression. It's thinking about other people and how many people there are. Oh. And what can I do? Can I? Part of me, part of me wants to sit here now and like get some tissue. Part of me wants to sit here now and like think of ways I could raise loads of money. How could I do that? The only thing I've got is you guys. You're my biggest audience. And and I know it's like nearly 600 people now, but it's still not a massive amount of people to try and start a, not a revolution, but you know, something like that. You know, could I start up a charity? Could I try and raise money by, you know, walking the country or something, or I don't know, but I want to do something because I'm not gonna fucking waste away, man. The other thing I wanted to say as well is that I don't want you guys to feel like that like I don't appreciate you or anything, because I really do. I always have these things in my life where I'm like, I'm down, and then I think of something and I think, you know, that will make me feel better, that will cure me, that will cure all this, that will take it away. It might be like, man, I had really bad teeth. Again, I was terrified of the dentist, and I don't know if any people watching have noticed, but I don't have my false teeth in right now, and I haven't had for ages. Anyway, I thought getting my teeth out, you know, because I used to have really bad abscesses and stuff, and the doctor said to me, if you don't go and have your teeth out, if you don't get over this fear, you're going to die from sepsis, because you've got so many infections at one time. All it's going to take is, you know, one thing, and that'll be you gone by the morning. That's what kicked me into gear with that. I went and got that done. I was like, right, now I'm going to be able to smile again. Now I'm going to be able to be myself and express myself. And I went and I got it all done. Admittedly, I ran away the first appointment, but I went back another time, and for like, I didn't get my dentures done for ages after that, because I went into a depression having my teeth out. You know, it's like, even though it was really good because it made me all healthy again and clean and not have any abscesses and shit like that, I don't know, it's just feeling like you've lost a bit of yourself or something, you know, a bit of your natural being, you know. It's as if someone's kind of chopped your finger off or something. But then, you know, I was like, right, well, I can get teeth now, and I'm gonna get some nice teeth and smile. And I did that, and for a few weeks it was awesome. Like, I really felt like a new person. And then I met this girl, and got really close to her and attached and everything. And that's like the first time since my ex had broken up with me from what was that, the addiction video I was talking about before. It's the first time I'd felt really good. And then all of a sudden she just fucking deleted me, blocked me, just out of nowhere for no reason whatsoever, after we'd been so close. No explanation. Fuck, man, I was like, what? That completely just knocked me for six, you know, and it's literally been a battle to get back to myself from there again, as I'm still going through. But yeah, still a fucking daily challenge. Update on that. Maybe you'll relate to this, like, every morning, no matter whether I'm smoking cannabis or not, the first thoughts on my mind are terrible, man. That, you know, I'm saying to myself, you know, it's not me saying it. I don't know. It's this voice in the back of my head, but it's not taking time to say it. It's like a data download. It just goes, boom. And it goes, you're shit. You're a terrible person. You're worthless. you're not good at anything, you're untalented, all that stuff. And you know, like, I'm not a person that likes to brag about myself, or, you know, because I don't know, man. I just don't like to brag about myself. I don't like people that are big-headed, you know. I'm not that confident, and I don't ever want to be that kind of confident person. So it's really hard for me, that's why I'm beating around the bush, to say that I know I am talented at things, like, and I know I'm a good person as well. And I have to battle every fucking morning of my life, man, relentlessly, without one day without having a break. Every day I wake up just to get past that is such a fucking massive battle. And I don't even want recognition for it. I just want that to fucking end. Just want that to go away. Man, that would take a fucking massive weight off my shoulders, you know. It'd be one less thing to deal with, one less battle. Be nice. Nearly did something stupid, a couple of days ago. I ended up not, and this goes back to, again, I'm not going to go into detail about what happened because it's not place to talk about it, but let's just say I was in a very obviously bad state. I went to the hospital early in the morning after what I was doing, and they were nice, man, like, don't get me wrong, they were lovely. I again felt like a massive burden, but luckily it was like empty. And I talked to a nurse, and she was really nice. She even called the police, but not in a bad way, you know. And they were really nice, and they gave me a number, and they actually let me talk to this through this number on their radio. Took me home as well. I got to sit in the car. They showed me all their tech and stuff. And it was really weird because I knew they weren't, like, that number that I talked to, the people I talked to, I've talked to them before, and they're like just useless. And so I knew I weren't going to get any help or anything, but it's so we're just having that interaction, seeing that little bit of interest just for a minute, even though you know it's going to be gone. You know, it's like it charges you up again. But like I said, that depletes, keeps depleting every time. And I'm not certainly going to do that again, because as energizing as it was, I feel like a fucking idiot for doing that. It just seems like it doesn't matter where you are unless you're, I don't know, unless you're, you probably can't even say it on YouTube, but unless you're, you know, stood right there in front of someone and you're saying, you know, you can take me away or something. That's another thing that stops people saying or being as honest as they could be to the doctors. They're scared of being taken away somewhere, man. They're scared of being taken away and drugged up. And that might be a completely irrational fear, but that's what they fear. Every fear is real. And even to me, to some extent, you know, it's, you know, I know what I need, that's the thing. I'm lucky in that sense. It's a double-edged sword. Because I know what I need, just can't fucking get it. I could get it then, but I don't want to do that. I'm not mad, you know, I'm not like lucid or not in control of myself. I'm too in control of myself. Um, so weird. Like if you knew me as a younger person, I was never like really outgoing or anything, but I was a lot more outgoing than I am now. And it's weird as well because sometimes I love being by myself. Like I love nothing more sometimes than knowing that I'm going to be by myself. It's gonna be like rainy or something or stormy outside, and I can put some music on and some low light and just sit and chill and relax, you know. And I like to do that a lot, or sit in and play a game, or write, or edit, or do something, right? But then there's other times where I'm like desperately just want to have a conversation with someone, you know, just sit and talk shit for a minute, or sit and watch TV with someone, or you know, just sit and just hang out. And whenever I want that, it's never a good time. Like it's usually, you know, 5 o'clock in the morning or something. Um, it's really weird because I never used to be like that. I used to be, you know, anytime there was someone willing to hang out with me, it's like, yeah, let's just go. And now it really has to be a mental energy battle, right? And not even to meet up with people sometimes, just to message someone back is a massive effort sometimes. It can take just an incredibly stupid amount of time to get that energy back, to do that. Sometimes, you know, it's weird, but right, I want to be I forgot the word, uh so I'll say productive. I want to be productive and I want to help other people, but there's also a part of me that says, Jamie, mate, you can't help anybody while you're suffering like this yourself. You know, you got to fix yourself first and then help other people. But you know, maybe I know something that's going to help someone. I don't know. See, I want to say I'm going to look into like I could raise some money, right? I could do a sponsored walk or something similar. Shave all my hair off. Man, I'd look really funny. Sometimes you help yourself by helping others. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That would actually work, wouldn't it? I would, I like going for walks. Stop fucking crying. um, yeah. So that could, I'm not sure how your monetization looks. You could do a gameathon and raise money. I'm not too far off being monetized, for the lower level stuff. I think I'm like a couple of $1,000 off, almost, which, given how things have gone so far this couple of months, should only really take a few more months. Um, I could do something on the channel, couldn't I, where if I say I'm going to do a challenge where I literally walk the length of the country. It's going to be a difficult one though, because not actually like the physically walking it, that should be fine, but the expenses of doing it, do you know what I mean? I'd look into it, and see how much, like a ballpark figure, but I might be able to probably just afford it myself. I don't eat a lot anyway. I always feel good when I help others learn something, kind of why I push on your Discord. You want to be you want to help me out with that, don't you, mate? I don't I'm not ignoring that. It's just a lot of stuff recently, and I haven't been taking care of anything really. But I do have that noted, mate. Yeah, you can do that. That's a really it's a good point as well, man. Like when you're helping others learn stuff, teaching people is such a satisfying thing. Like it's such a satisfying thing. So one idea could be going into, because this is people watch Geoguessr, right, and that sort of stuff. When he does like a straight line mission, he's done a straight line mission sideways across Wales. He always goes sideways across the smallest part of the country. What if I did the longest line sideways that I could go? So you have to go in a straight line. You have like 20 meters either side of the line where you have like, because you're gonna have to deviate, and then you just travel in a straight line across the country as fast as you can. You go just literally across everything that's in your path, through farms, through people's gardens and stuff, but you try and choose a line that doesn't go through much, because if you're caught by someone, that's it, game over. And that seems really fun to me. That seems like a good adventure. It seems like an almost legitimate way of raising some money. And it would be an opportunity to meet people as well in real life and promote the channel while I'm out and about, and get more subscribers that way, you know. So that could be an option. And I'd love to walk across the country in some way, because I live in a beautiful country, man. It's gorgeous country, and I've hardly seen any of it. I mean, I've seen quite a few things from doing the exploring and that. I've been up to some places I wouldn't have been otherwise. Top of some mountains and stuff. But I want more of that. Because it's a gorgeous country. Especially Wales. Wales is lovely. Straight line mission across Wales would be cool. Or I could take my river down to that would be fun. Get a kayak and literally ride my river down to the coast, because it's not too far from here, but that would be a good adventure. Camp out on the way. And I could break that up with, say, the towns you go through on the way. I could stop in at the towns, talk to people and vlog. And talk about people's mental health experiences and stuff like that, and say, hey, I'm raising some money for this mental health charity or something like that. Subscribe or donate, and everything. That might be good. That would get me out. That would get me doing things, I think. Anytime you want me to figure out a time. Awesome, dude. Now I've got those tiers out of the way. I I've you know, already feel just like a little bit more level, which is good. What was I gonna say? I've got points. I didn't write anything down. I had a. What was I gonna say? I cannot remember for the life of me what I was gonna say. So have a quick look at this. Let's put you so you can see it actually as well. I think as well, you know, I've never put so much effort into something as I have in the last couple of months with YouTube and that. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot to just sit here and stream and play a game. And I certainly didn't think it would be any kind of drain on me at all, right? But I guess because it's you know, it's not just sitting here and playing a game. It is effort to, especially for somebody with neurodivergence, it is effort to sit here and interact with a lot of people and keep up with a lot of different things, especially for me as a person that usually just deals with one thing at a time and then goes on to the next thing. I guess it's taken a bit of strain. It's given me a bit of what do you call it? I can't think now. A little bit of burnout, I think, is what it is, combined with the usual stuff of depression, autism. Sometimes it rears its ugly head and there's not a lot I can do about it, but maybe there is more. I don't know, I just feel so mentally weak, you know. I don't even know what I'm doing here. I'm just scrolling up and down the street. Hensel Road. This could be anywhere in the world too. I was not prepared for this. This is America. Sawmill Road. Should we go for southern Pennsylvania again? I'm probably not going to play too much of this, guys. I think after the stream, once I've remembered anything I want to say, I'm probably going to take a nap. And then this afternoon, I might do Microsoft Flight Sim if it's working, because it's been buggered up a bit for me since well, I only checked it on the night of the update and it wiped all my keybinds again. So I rage quit that and I haven't been back on. But I did see somebody mention that had happened to them, but they'd gone back in and it's fixed. So I'll have a look later after I've had a nap. Possibly some food, because that's another thing. The last couple of weeks I've hardly eaten anything really, like maybe 4 meals and not even all of those. A lot of chocolate and a lot of tea. I need to get my strength back up and I need to start exercising, because exercising, man, it makes me feel great. It really makes me feel really good and happy with myself. So I need to get back into that. I need to ask Father Christmas for some weights, I think. The task of streaming along with recording and editing is a ton of work. Did my first stream today and was almost overwhelmed from the prep. You did your first stream. How did it go, man? I would have been there if I knew you was doing that. It is a lot of work. Yeah. You it's no. I never thought about how much work it would be. Like, I mean, streaming. Don't get me wrong. I think that's a little bit easier than when you're doing your own content, but it depends to what degree you're streaming. Do you know what I mean? I suppose in that in itself becomes a massive job. Yeah, I think doing the recorded content, that's probably why I've been so low on it recently, is because that's a lot of effort. That's a hell of a lot of effort, and like I didn't realise how much effort it would be. I thought it would be like an easy thing. One viewer for a few seconds. How long did you stream for? Because I think the night when a lot of people came into my stream doing KSP, I think I streamed for my longest ever up until that point then, and I think it was a case of just waiting for people to join and see what's going on. I think I was being too impatient before. Like, I was streaming for 20 minutes, 2 people joined, didn't say nothing, so I'm like, oh, okay, quit, this ain't for me. I think it's the longer you stream, the better, which is something I still need to bloody get into the habit of doing. But like I said, you know, my usual gaming periods are only for a couple of hours because I physically limit myself to that so that I don't get too engrossed in a game and forget my life. But I completely lost track of what I was saying. It's just really nervous of the talking bit. It's a big thing, man. It really is. In the end, the only downfall was my audio being way too low and was 1.25 hours. Going again tomorrow. Yeah, consistency is key as well. So do it again tomorrow. Try and do it at the same time. And possibly, you know, somebody that joined last night will join again because it'll probably come up in their recommended. And I'll check it out if I'm about as well. What's I going to say? The talking bit is always the bit, man. Like, even now, how long have I been doing these streams? Couple of months, almost every night. And even now, when I'm here, sorry, I'm usually in the intermission bit or something, or the waiting. Click on a reaction vid or live stream. I do hover over my mouse for a second thinking, get the nerves out, now chat. And it's like, I don't think I'll ever not do that because I'm always nervous of that, always. And believe it or not, like I used to do drama in high school, right? And I would quite happily play like a homosexual character, right? Just, it was usually, you know, quite funny or part of whatever play we were doing, and I would wear some real goofy shit, like, and just, you know, full on commit to it and not really self-conscious of myself at all. And I find it usually comes from someone making, maybe it's just one comment and they completely put you off. I'll tell you what, yeah, the last time on my YouTube, the last video I did before I got consistent again a couple of months ago was my reactions to Game On, right, that TV show. And they didn't get many views, but I enjoyed doing them, so I kept doing them, more or less just for me to sort of sit back and watch one day, maybe with family or something, to show them this old show. And the one comment I got on that on one of those videos was some guy saying, oh, he looks like the devil emoji or something like that. Because I don't know, do I look like the fucking devil emoji? I don't know. But it was like, man, of all the months I've been busting my ass, thinking of ideas, making ideas come to life, editing, recording, you know, scripting things, all that work I've been putting in, and that's what YouTube decides to expose me to, and to, you know, let that comment come through on my channel. Like, it doesn't bother me. It didn't, like, it wasn't that made me quit for a little bit and take a break. It wasn't the hurt, because it doesn't hurt me, right? No one can fucking hurt me with words, right? There's nothing nobody can say to me that I've not woken up in the morning and said to myself 100 times over. I tell myself, man, you're a worthless piece of shit. You ain't nothing. You are no good to nobody. You're a burden. You're horrible. You're evil, man. You are the worst thing in the world. You are a cancer on this planet, man. I go through that. I tell myself that, and I battle that, and I get through that, and I wake up, and at some point in the day I'll go, Jay, do you know what? You're not half a bad guy. So there's nothing no one can say to me like that, man. Hate comments are never going to affect me like that. Oh, that's one part of me that's really fucking strong and will never go away. The reason that made me stop was just thinking, you know, man, there's so many horrible people out there that it's just, what if I had been a person who that would have affected? What if that had been the last thing that made me just go, do you know what? Today will be the day I go and end it all. What if that comment got to someone like that, and they went and did that because of that stupid fucking prick? Sorry to swear so much in this stream, but you know, it just made me just want to not deal with the world for a little bit and take a step back. That I hate that sort of stuff, man. I hate that sort of stuff. I can't stand bullies. That's the worst thing in the world. And I'm going to be straight up and honest with all of you, man. I've been bullied. I've been a bully, and I've fucking really, really regretted being a bully. And I, where I could, I made up for that, and I still will if there's anything I can think of that I haven't settled yet, you know. Because I can't stand bullies. It's one of the worst things I hate in the world. But yeah, going back to what Dimrak was saying, you got to just remember to fill in the blanks with more than and. Oh mate, you know what? I know I was doing it at the start of the stream as well. I am the worst for that is most of my editing, honestly. Whenever I make a video where I'm talking to camera, see right then, even if I've got a script, I will on almost every other, and it annoys me so much when I'm sat there editing and I'm looking at this peak and I can see the peaks now in the sound thing, and I go, that is me going and I've done it in like 20 times in like 10 seconds or something. And that's what most of my editing is. That's literally, if I didn't all the time, I would have a hell of a lot less to edit. And I don't know where I've got this from, right? And I've looked it up, right? Because as soon as I started doing YouTube and editing myself, I was like, man, why am I didn't realise that I did this. Have I been doing this all my life? I guess I must have been. But then I realised it, so I was like, why do I do this? Like, do other people do this? So I looked it up on Google. And I found, yeah, a lot of forums with a lot of people saying, I've just started a YouTube channel, or I've just started a podcast, and listening back to myself, I'm like, and all the time. Why do I do this? And apparently it's a sign of a high IQ. That's what I was left with the impression of. I probably have a bit of a higher IQ than average, but I don't know. My doctor saying that as little as he's helped me with my mental health stuff, he is an intelligent bloke, like, and he really and My still to this day, man, my biggest worry about when I'm doing this content is what I'm saying okay, you know? Because like whenever I watch other YouTubers and stuff, I always get the impression that, or I always feel like I'm getting the information that I need from them, or it's palatable in some way. Do you know what I mean? I think, yeah, that's good. But when I look at myself, I'm like, I criticize myself way too much. I'm a perfectionist, and the sucky thing about that is I never create anything perfect. I never get it perfect. Never, no matter if I work on it for years or just a little bit of time, I never get it perfect because perfect doesn't exist. You just can't do it. Mouth can't keep up with your thought. Yeah. See, I think I'm coming through this. There's a stage after you've had a joint, right? You'll know this. At first, your mind's all fuzzy and shit like that, and you can't get your words out. You can't think. You like this, and you can't even think of what you want to say. But then you get to a point where it goes the other way, and your thoughts can't keep up with your mouth. And you just want to chat and chat and chat, and everything's coming through like really clearly. Man, I used to sit in my shed by myself, just talking to myself about. That's kind of why I started that old vlog thing about the addiction and stuff, because I was saying stuff to myself, and I was like, man, I wish I had that recorded because that sounded really smart. And then of course I started recording myself, and I get all the nerves, and then I can't. Then stop recording, go and research something, write a script, and then you're doing the script thing when you were just reading. So true, perfect is wrong. I learnt that from digital design. Nothing true and natural has a flaw. Absolutely, man. That's one of the things I struggled with in art specifically was I would always try and make things too exact. Everything had to have a perfect outline. The colours had to mix and match perfectly or whatever. And so that put me off because I didn't want to bother with that. But then as soon as it was somebody that taught me about it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, look at things. Are they perfect? No. Look at anything. Nothing's perfect. And then it was like, oh, so I can have a lot more freedom over what I want to do, and it will work. And it's like the more you do it, the more you go, oh, yeah. And then your creativity comes through. But like, there's a thing where you need boundaries too. You need rules. I think it's great to give up a load of rules and stuff. Say like you go from being a painter that does like really classical, realistic paintings of people's faces or something, to going to do abstract landscapes. You have to give up the rules of classical painting to just feel it more with movements with your whole body and your emotions and stuff like that. It's weird. I guess people would call it woke today, to be like an artist like that. But I don't know what woke even is. I don't think anybody can explain it. But yeah, having rules is intrinsic to having some rules. I mean, even if it's just one, do you know what I mean? Like that guy, I don't know the name of him, but he made them paintings where they were like black lines in like squares and rectangles, but you know, some of them would be coloured in, but you'd never have the same colour touching one of the cells that was next to it, and they'd be like blue, red, and yellow, were they? I think. It's like that actually finding out about that style of painting was something that taught me about rules. And then it was at the same time as that I was getting into science and learning about scientific method, so only changing one parameter at a time to have a a good scientific method, I suppose it's called. And then they, you know, they kind of mix together art and science. So coming up, having a few rules, having a few parameters is good. It's really overwhelming when you've got no rules. Right, I am thinking I'm going to try and have a nap, honestly. This has been a bit productive. I'm going to write down. Oh, I won't forget it, but I'm going to write it down anyway. That next year, this will all have to be after Christmas because there's no way I can do anything now. Shit, I've just drawn on my TV. Sounds like there's been a crash somewhere. There's loads of sirens going off. Right, I want to do some sort of walking. I'm only going to be walking, I'm not going to run for no one. Walking challenge. To raise money for mental health. That's one thing. Or possibly shave my hair. You really don't want to see me bald, mate. It's terrible. Like I said, if I ever go bald, I'm going to get a wig. Thing. What do they call them? Toupee? I get a comb over. My hair is receding on this side. It's so much more worse than the other side. It's not great that side either, but oh. Right, this has been a weird stream, guys, but it's honestly made me feel a little bit better. Thank you for Dimrak for chatting to me. Hopefully I'll be back a little bit later with some Microsoft Flight Simulator. We didn't really play Openguessr, did we? Honestly, I just don't have the mental energy for it right now. When I get up later as well, Dimrak, I will sort this Discord stuff out because that does need sorting out. There's quite a lot of people in there, so I'll get on you with that. And what you were saying about teaching people things, I've got a massive list of facts and cool little facts and stuff like that. So I'm thinking for now I'll do some of those in the flight stream. That's quite, yeah, that works, doesn't it? Flight stream. I'll do some of those in the flight stream. We got like origins of words and stuff like that. So I'm going to be doing some of them, but I want to do a video soon where it's sort of like educational based, right? So we look at some obscure thing from history, or you know, something interesting, but educational as well, because like I love learning. Like I love learning. I think it's so it's just nice when you learn stuff, and the more you learn, the better you are, I think. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Flying is good. I should be awake for the next 20 plus hours. Wow, dude. You'd be knackered after that. I've been going off like just sort of sleeping for a couple of hours and then being awake for like 18 hours or something like that, and then having another little nap. Oh, I'm drained. I really need to get back into a proper sleep routine. Like, they say this is the healthiest way to do it, have lots of little naps throughout the day, but I feel like shit. could learn from my streams. It's KSP OVA tutorial stuff. Oh, dude, I'll have a look at it. That sound, I'll have a look. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm feeling a bit of burnout with KSP because we've done it so much recently. You know, it's not that I don't like playing it. It's just because I think we've played it so much. When I'm thinking about flight sim and I'm like, oh yeah, I think I'd rather play that like more. Plus, you know, it's new and there's going to be people that want to watch that too. And always, like, I'm the everything guy, so I'm never just going to focus on one game. But I've always said KSP is something we'll always have here at the channel in some capacity. I've got, I don't know if I've told you guys, I've ordered a NASA coat, like a white NASA jacket, like a flight jacket, which I'm going to wear for the KSP stream. So, you know, we're going to be coming back to KSP. I've forgotten what day it's supposed to be on now. Completely forgotten what I've written in my schedule. Completely. But yeah, I think I'll be back on then. I don't know what time this is going to be this afternoon. It won't be the time probably that's on the schedule, or maybe it will be. And I think, yeah, we'll do flight sim, and either we'll do a flight around the world or we'll just carry on with career, because each career flight now is getting so much money. Getting me so much money. We should be ready to start up another business soon. And I don't think any of you guys have actually seen any of that because I've been doing that all off stream practically. I was just trying to get back to where I was, and then I went a bit further. Right. All right. Cheers for chatting with me, Dimrack. And anyone else who's watched or possibly subscribed. Sorry I look such a bloody mess, and sorry that was a bit depressing. There's some more ums. Right, I'm going to go and have a nap. So thank you guys. I'll see you a bit.